Hi, my name's Jake with LRP, and I'm going to show you how to clean a rifle so it is ready to have some custom work done on it. Alright, the most important thing to remember, again, is gun safety. We always want to point the rifle in a safe direction. We need to make sure that there's no ammunition nearby. Because of the potential danger, please handle all firearms with great care and great respect. Alright, a few things to get started on cleaning your rifle. First, you will need a caliber specific bore snake. In most AR-15s, that is a .223 or 5.56 caliber. The second thing you will need is something to apply lubrication. I use a syringe and needle just because then I don't get my hands all greasy while applying the lube. Second, this will help scrape off excess carbon buildup and is a great way for me to point out specific parts of the rifle to you. You'll need a nitro solvent that will dissolve the carbon buildup if there is an excess. Some lubrication. Our favorite is the Slip 2000 EWL. We found it works very well. And then finally, a towel and a rag that you don't care gets dirty. All right, before working on any type of firearm, we need to make sure that we are 100% safe, as that is the most important thing. To check if an AR-15 is safe, we can do two things. First, we are going to pull back the charging handle to visually inspect the chamber, and then we're going to manually inspect the chamber with our finger. This is how this procedure is done. All right, first we are going to visually inspect the chamber. We do so by pulling back on the charging handle, and we look in the ejection port, and we can see no brass there. We're going to manually check it now by putting our finger up through the magazine, and checking to make sure there's not a bullet inside the chamber. We are 100% safe, and we will let the bolt carrier group slam home. All right, first we're going to disassemble this firearm. We're going to take the upper receiver off of the lower. To do so, we will take these two takedown pins right here and right here. We will remove them so that we are able to pull the upper receiver from the lower receiver. Now sometimes these pins are tight, so it takes just a little wobbling to get them to come loose. Sometimes when that takedown pin is a little rough to get out, you can use a punch, a tip of a bullet or something, and just pop it through. It came right out, as you can see. Now we have our lower receiver. We can set that aside. We're going to be mainly dealing with the upper receiver here. All right, the next step to clean your rifle is we will pull the charging handle and the BCG, the bolt carrier group, out of the rifle so we can clean and lubricate those. To do so, you just pull back on your charging handle, the bolt slips out, and the charging handle comes out as well. We're done with the upper receiver for now. All right, we're going to start by disassembling the bolt carrier group. First, we do so by pulling this pin out here. This is called the firing pin retaining pin. You can grab a tool like this or anything and just lift up on a little bit, and it pops right out. Here's that pin. Make sure you don't lose that. That is very essential. Next, we'll tip the bolt carrier group upside down, and the firing pin comes perfectly out. Notice how dirty that is. Put that up by your firing pin retaining pin. The next time, all right, now we're going to take out the cam pin. This is what holds the bolt inside the bolt carrier group. What you do is you'll twist it 90 degrees so the longer flats run parallel with the bolt carrier group. And then you get your thumbnail, get underneath it, you lift it up, and there's your cam pin. Next, we'll take the bolt out of the bolt carrier group just by pulling it out, and it comes right out. We'll set that aside. All right, now what we'll do is we'll wipe off the bolt carrier group, make sure that everything is wiped off. We'll rub all the built up carbon just off the outside. This isn't what needs to be cleaned, but I like to make sure that I can see all the surfaces, see if there's any damage going on to the bolt carrier group. What we'll do now is we'll grab our bolt right here. We're going to wipe this down with our rag. The main parts to wipe down on the bolt are this part right here, right behind these silver gas rings, and then we'll wipe down just the body, as we will lubricate that here in a minute. Once we've wiped that down, we'll grab the firing pin, and this one's the easiest of the bunch. We just wipe it down. That's got excess lubrication and stuff built up. Everything's nice and shiny. The cam pin, it receives the most brunt force of the AR and is the part that's most prone to breaking. What we'll do is we'll wipe this off, get all the carbon off it. We're going to visually check to make sure that there's no cracks in the cam pin. Once we wipe this off, we'll be able to really get close and look. And you'll see that this cam pin does have wear, but there are no cracks, and so it is fine to continue use. Lastly is the firing pin, retainer pin. You just wipe that off, and we're good to go. First off, we will start by reinserting the bolt into the bolt carrier group. Now when you do this, you'll notice on the bolt, there is the plunger and an extractor. When you insert the bolt into the bolt carrier group, make sure that the plunger is on the right side and the extractor is on the left, and you will see the holes lining up there. Next, we'll take the cam pin and some lubrication, and we'll just put a tiny amount of lubrication on the cam pin, insert it that parallel to the bolt carrier group, and twist it that 90 degrees to lock it in place. Next, we have the firing pin. It comes in just as it went in, out. Just slide it in, lock it into place. Lastly, we have the firing pin retaining pin. Do is put in there, push it in, we're good to go. Now what we'll do is we'll lubricate the body of the bolt with just a barely tiny amount of lubrication and these rails that are found on the bolt. So we'll put a little lubrication there and some lubrication there. Now our bolt is completely cleaned and lubricated. All right, now we'll grab our bore snake, and what we'll do is we'll unwind it, and we're going to add lubrication right after the copper bristles. So once we add just a few drops of oil, that's all it takes. And we were going to take the brass end and we're going to feed it through the chamber all the way through the barrel until we are able to pull it out through the end. Now what we do is we grab the bore snake, grab firm position of your gun, and pull it out in one single motion. Now we've cleaned the rifling of the barrel and the chamber in one go. All right, we are ready to assemble the components back. First, we will grab the charging handle. We'll insert it into the rifle. It will catch, and we'll push it in just a little bit. Then, grab your bolt. Make sure the bolt is not pushed in, it's fully extended. And we will insert it in the end. Give it a tap, lock those into place. Lastly, we have our lower receiver. We're going to put the upper onto the lower, lock those retaining pins into place. You have now successfully cleaned your AR-15 and it is ready for LRP to start its custom work on your rifle. Thanks for purchasing a rifle from LRP Incorporated. We are just as excited to work on your gun as you are to get a new custom rifle. We appreciate your business. Shoot long, shoot straight.